Okay, so this is just going to be a fun little one. We've done kind of the bulk of what I wanted and anticipated to do for this phase, which was basically to really dive into portraits and figures. And we've done a lot of that. We've done Coles, we've done Gibsons, we've done Mukas, we've done interpretations of painting into ink from Solomon J. Solomon. This is a little Edwin Austin Abbey kind of it's almost like I don't know what you call it. Like there's he's like death, or it's got the time thing turned upside down. The sky. He's kind of like just this really foreboding, kind of cool looking character from Shakespeare. And I basically just want to do a little sketch of this. I thought it was always really cool. It's all quill, so I'm going to use all my different quills, most of them on it, and I'm just going to have fun with it. And just let's just watch me do just like a really kind of the Abbey's one of my favorite quill artists, and he's just a beautiful painter too. So he's one of those guys that could skirt along between the different areas of inking, line work, and really fine inking. So it's really fun. So this is just something that I just thought would be kind of fun to tear into and to do a little one as a kind of a capper, or I don't know where I'll put it in the actual program, or if I will at all. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just going to play around with it and have some fun, and you guys can just witness it. And it's pretty fine quill work here, so I'm using one of my fine, 107, 102 Hunts. I can't remember which one this is. But again, 102, 107, those are both really great ones. You could probably get away primarily just with those two for fine work. But again, it's going to be more you playing around with them and seeing if you actually even like them. Very scratchy, right? And that's one thing that I like and don't like on this surface, is that it will score it. But that's why a little bit more give in the quills, where they just kind of a little bit more springy. Look how fine you can get with the line work on this stuff, man. I mean, that's like even finer than you can with probably the brush. So that's, again, where you may want to occasionally sprinkle this in when you're doing your work, if you like this look. If you go back to kind of the technical inking phase that we did in phase one with Doug and I was doing quill stuff, you'll see in this particular one some of those strokes coming out that I showed you when we were doing our little value scale exercises and just kind of familiarizing ourselves with the tool in the very beginning. Like where I'm talking, chatting, we're talking philosophizing, and then this little cool head's happening. It kind of is almost deceivingly, you think, well, that looks pretty easy. But it's not. It's brutally hard. But it's because of all those years of tearing things apart, which you're just starting to learn how to do, that has given me this ability to do this. And it's not like I'm trying to throw it in your face. I'm just trying to say you too will be able to do that at some point if you put forth a similar effort, probably. Now, you may be able to do it a little bit faster than I did a couple years earlier, or this, that, because I'm showing you. Or it may, it may take you a little longer because your inherent dexterity is not as good, or you just don't remember things that well, visually, and that you're getting better at it, but that muscle is not very strong on you. Whereas on me, it was just naturally maybe more strong because of my genetic predisposition for it or something. So there's genetics involved. There's patterning, neuroplasticity. There's epigenetics. There's all kinds of cool stuff that you got to start. That we could get into, but we're just really, let's just draw a lot, good things, and I think that'll fix most of it, But in the meantime, we could really get into the intellectual aspects of what's really happening when you're building synapses and you're building neural pathways towards proficiency in anything. What is actually occurring chemically in the body, in the mind, as you're building those bridges, and then maintaining them and strengthening them and all that kind of good stuff. That's quite a rabbit hole to go down. So we might want to just kind of stick with, hey, draw a lot of this stuff, and you don't need to know the science behind what your brain's doing to connect the dots. But at some point you might be interested if you're that kind of person. I kind of get carried away with that kind of stuff. It's kind of fun. Now this could very well be a, head for, you know, Lord of the Rings or something. It could be Gandalf. It could be, I mean, it has that kind of cool character look. So you might borrow this guy's head or this head for another illustration you're doing or something, Where we find our inspiration and what we borrow from is as much of an art as the art of learning it to draw well is, and everybody's a little different about how they do that. I like the way in the forehead he kind of radiates around the brow bone, um, around the orbicularis area, around the zygomatic arch, and kind of does this like kind of radiating to really emphasize the just the circular structure there. Then he's got a dark eyebrow socket. Then he comes into again that this area right where I'm drawing, which is that a little triangular wedge that you see in the Asaro head. Oh, so I just got my finger stuck in that when I wasn't paying attention. It's okay. It's all going to be cross-hatched in, so it doesn't really matter. But something to be aware of. That was a super fine. This is really fine. That was, what was this one? This one was extra fine. So I don't know what the hell the difference is between extra fine and really fine, but we're going to find out in a second here. That's pretty nice. I like. I just like the way it drops off ink. I like how long it drops off ink. I like that it's quite sensitive and light. And I can kind of come back again with these nice little cross hatching. Pretty intense looking eyes there. Kind of cool. Like that. Okay, I need to load up again. Going over the brow ridge. Notice how here's the glabella, here's the bone, here's the bone. So I'm following topographically with my line a little bit around the eye socket or the brow bone and the eye, which makes up kind of part of the brow, the roll bar or the roll cage around the socket. So when you look subtly, you see some of the lines that I know anatomically should be there, but also rhythmically from the Riley method. Again, trying to look for ways to just kind of fade it out away from that head. without having to do a moray, this crisscross pattern for, like he did in the actual piece. I mean, it just goes on forever. If I was going full fledged for the piece, yeah, I would, have it on I'd probably done it the other direction, and it would have encompassed most of the whole real estate that we have to work with. But I'm just, again, trying to find a way to cut it off that looks fresh, not overworked, and still gets the point across. There. Yeah, that one stroke, damn, I almost cried when I did that. Again, it's not bad. It just runs that risk when you open up. That's gutsy, right? That's like, oh, it already looks really awesome. Let's see if we can make it look really awesome. And then you just chowder it and you just go, oh, you got to be kidding me. I want to go back to where I was 5 minutes ago. And you're in a medium that just goes, nope, not going to happen. That is what happens. I don't think that looks bad, but it almost did. There was a minute there where I was a little bit worried.